Assalamualaikum. My name is Alif Imran bin Nazaruddin. Now I'm going to present about beam. Introduction. In building construction, the beam is a horizontal structural member built to bear shear force, bending time, and transfer the load to columns on both ends of it. Tension force and upper portion compression force are experienced by beam's bottom section. Therefore, relative to the top of the beam, more steel reinforcement at the bottom is given. For structural steel buildings, the I-beam, also known as the H-beam, Y-beam, W-beam, universal beam (UB), and rolled steel joist, is the form of choice. The I-beam's design and structure make it uniquely capable of handling a range of loads. In building, engineers broadly use I-beams, shaping columns and beams of several different lengths, size, and requirements. A fundamental requirement for the modern civil engineer or construction worker is knowing the I-beam. Next, this is the picture of I-beam. This is an example of the structure that have a fixed support and point load that react on the beam. And this is the free body diagram of the structure. For the fixed support, have two forces that react on the fixed support. The first one is horizontal force, second one is vertical force. This is the calculation of the structure. Actually, this is the simple calculation for the beam. Support reaction. Fixed support. Fixed support can resist vertical and horizontal force as well as a moment. Since they restrain both rotation and translation, they are also known as a rigid support. This means that a structure only needs one fixed support in order to be stable. All three equations of equilibrium can be satisfied. A flat post set into a concrete base is a good example of this kind of a support. The representation of fixed support always includes two forces, horizontal force and vertical force, and a moment. For the center of the structure, the center is the center of the mass of the cross-sectional portions of the beam. The center is used to measure the moment of inertia of the beam that is used for the weight, beam shear, and beam deflection measure beam bending stress. For the moment of inertia, bending moment are internal moment in a beam's material, which balance the tendency to cause rotation of any part of the beam by external force. The bending moment is the moment of the moment on the wall of a cantilever beam. The bending moment is zero at the free end. The related bending moment has a maximum value in the position where the shear force crosses the zero axis.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. For the next civil engineering structure is bridge. What is bridge? A bridge could be a structure built to attain physical perseverance. For example, a valley, a road, a body of water without closing the street underneath it. It is built for purpose of giving way to obstacles, usually something difficult or impossible to go through. The required passage is a road, a railway, pedestrian walk, a highway, and etc. Bridges are important structure in modern highway and railway transportation system, and commonly serving as lifelines inside the social infrastructure. These are the main type of bridge. The type of bridge is beam bridge, truss bridge, cantilever bridge, arch bridge, tight arch bridge, suspension bridge, cable stayed bridge. What are a bridge made of? The bridge made of steel, concrete, stone and alphite, timber, aluminum, and rubber. This is the example of free body diagram of a bridge. Alright, bridge have two types of support. It is pin support and fixed support. Pin support is a pin support can resist vertical and horizontal forces, however, no longer for a moment. They will let the members of structure rotate, but not translate in any direction. This is the example of pin support. For fixed support maintains the angular relationship between the joining elements and provides strength and momentum of endurance. It provides a force that acts in any direction and prevents all translation movement, horizontal and vertical, as well as rotational movement of the limbs. This is the example of the difference between fixed support and simple support. Thank you.
The third civil engineering structure is dam. So this is materials that used to construct dam, which include earth, rocks, tailing from mining or milling, concrete, masonry, steel, timber, miscellaneous materials such as plastic or rubber, and any combination of these materials. The uses of dam, dam are important because it can provide water for domestic, industry, and irrigation purposes, and also often provide hydroelectric power production and also river navigation. So, one of the best places for building a dam at narrow part of deep river valley. The valley sides can act as natural walls. So, there's a five forces that acting on them. First is weight of water. It is the weight of the dam due to the action of the gravity and always act downward direction through the center of the body. Second is water pressure. It is the pressure exerted by the fluid of the dam body and always act perpendicular to the contact surface. Third is uplift. It is pressure exerted by the fluid on the dam surface from the underneath and always act towards the upward direction. Fourth is wave pressure. Waves are generated on a surface of the reservoir by blowing winds, which exert a pressure on the upper part of the dam above the water level. And the final is earthquake forces. Dams are subjected to vibration during earthquakes. The vibration affects both the body of the dam and water in the reservoir behind the dam. For the center of gravity, the center of gravity goes beyond the middle one. Third, refer to the figure. And second, resultant pressure due to water acting on them would be the area of triangle. And the last part is moment of inertia, the deflection in structural members and the moment acting on an area behind a dam are examples of analysis requiring the moment of inertia. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good evening. Today I'm going to explain a little bit about offshore platform. So for the introduction, I'm going to give you a little bit detail about offshore platform, which is one of the function. It is mainly for the exploration of oil and gas, and the second one to give shelter to the workforce on board. For the material used to build offshore platform is mainly concrete and steel because they can stand extreme environment. It can last for a long time. The structure can last for a long time even though it is under a lot of loads and under a lot of pressure. So under gravity loads there is structural, dead loads, live loads, drilling loads and fluid loads. And then under environmental loads, which is energy load, there is wind loads, ice and mud loads, the wave loads, the buoyancy loads, and the current loads. Explain about a moment of inertia. moment is inertia is very important. For example, the spark. There is this one component called mooring. That is one of the important component. But if there is no mooring, the spar still can be in a stable state because of the moment of inertia. Okay. So for the center of platform, if the COB, which is the center of buoyancy at the center of mass, and there's no external force, the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity is located at the same coordinate. I think that's it for today. Thank you.
The last civil engineering structure is tall building. It also known as high-rise building. What is tall building? According to Bangel, tall building cannot be defined in terms of specific number of floor or story height, but the dividing line should be where the design of the structure moves from the field of static to structural dynamic. A tall building can be considered as high-rise building when it is higher than any surrounding buildings.
Example of tall building in our country.
Type of lot on tall buildings. First, dead lot, which is the wall and floor. Second, live lot, which is the furniture and equipment. And the last is environmental lot, which is wind lot and snow lot.
Example lot exists in tall building.
Support reaction for tall building is fixed support. Fixed support can resist vertical and horizontal force. It also known as rigid support. Fixed support means that the structure only needs one fixed support in order to be stable. Center of gravity of tall building. It also known as center of the mass. If center of gravity is over to one side, which is if we build up on the sloping ground, the force of gravity acting down and will produce a moment, which is the turning effect. If the moments are smaller, the structure can resist and keep stable. Moment of inertia. Moment of inertia, known as the second moment of the area. It is the property of the cross-section. The algebraic sum of the product of the area and the square of the distance from the particular axis.
That's all from our group. Thank you.